Hey guys, so I was thinking, right? I need to actually put out videos that are not super directed or directly related to the chapters that we get. And I have a whole lot of other videos I want to do. And I thought that, you know what, I should probably get around to them. So, this video, I'll be finishing a thought I had in a different video, which will give me a nice segue into the next video and the video after that. So now we're just going to go with other videos as well, not related to the most recent chapter, but I could draw stuff from there if it's relevant. And I was thinking about this. So in Marineford, in that war, if we change the fact that, you know, Whitebeard's crew was split up, there was Ace and Blackbeard missing, Thatch was dead, and we bring them back to Whitebeard's side, all three of them, and then we say the warlords were not there, and, you know, they're not saving anyone, they're just fighting for the sake of it. So Marines, Navy versus the Whitebeard pirates. Who wins that? Like, in a serious all-out fight, everyone is serious. Who wins that? Now, I know there'll be some people really rushing to say that Whitebeard pirates, obviously. They have Whitebeard, strongest man. They'll have Teach as well, who was able to beat Ace. Ace, we know how strong Ace is. Or, well, we have some ideas. Thatch was a commander as well, so Thatch is incredible as well. And so having those three would definitely change things. Minus the warlords, wow, that really changes the game. But then, I think you think a bit deeper and you realize that a lot of the time in Marineford, these guys were on the defensive. Half the time, Whitebeard was getting heart attacks. And neither Garp nor Sengoku fought seriously the whole time. And then you begin to wonder, it's like, so really, if everyone was serious in such a fight, who would win? Now, once again, this goes back to the idea that I've been bringing in my not last two videos, but in two other videos. One about there being 6 Yonko crews. I'll link that in some corner somewhere. And the other one being that there is a way in which you can look at the warlord system and say the warlords and their whole crews probably equal the strength of a Yonko crew. Now, to that video about the warlords equaling a Yonko crew, it's pretty deep. It's pretty deep. I mean, there is a chapter in somewhere near the beginning of Wano, or just before Wano starts, where it's the same chapter, for those of you who remember, where Kizaru asks to go to Wano, Akainu says no. Just before that, when they said Big Mom and Kaido on the move, they said the only people who can stop the Yonko are the admirals and the warlords. So, warlords deserve some respect, at least some of them. Buggy, of course. But no, back to this video. This video is about the Navy and the Marines. And how would they stack up against the Yonko crew? Because I think the biggest thing is who in the Marines would take on the Yonko. Who, like right now in today's Marines, who would? And I'm not one of those people who thinks Akainu is, you know, able to take down Big Mom, or he's on that level or something like that. I don't think Akainu is that strong. He's strong, no doubt. He is one of the strongest characters in the whole story. But I really just don't see it happening. So question now is, who is strong enough? I still pick Akainu. Honestly, he's not strong enough. I don't believe he is. But I still think that he's a good candidate. He's the best candidate we have in the Marines if anyone were to fight a Yonko. So, if we say that's true, you know what? I'll get confused if I keep saying the Whitebeard pirates, so let's change it and say the Beast pirates, because they're really popular right now in the story. So let's say the Navy right now versus the Beast pirates. And for this one, we'll just take Drake as being with the Beast pirates, or else that's going to really confuse things. So, Navy versus the Beast pirates. Yeah, that seems to make sense. Anyway, how does this fight go down? So, first of all, we would have, like I said, probably something like Kaido versus Akainu. How that goes down, it's anybody's guess. Anybody's guess. But I do not think Akainu is getting low diffed. I think mid to high. I'd say mid-high. Maybe a bit closer to high, but mid-high. Mid-high diff. Personal opinion, but that's what I think. Either way, point is Akainu is losing. 100% losing. The rest of the people. Now, I will say this. The Beast Pirates are, as we've seen, about 20,000. And about 15,000 of those are waiters. So that means that we have a lot of fodder. And the Marines also have a lot of fodder. So that's really great. Because at Marineford, they said we have about 100,000 elite soldiers. 100,000. Beast Pirates only have 10,000. So Marines have way more fodder than Beast Pirates. Although, as Zoro said, their skill runs deep. So who knows? Maybe it equals out. Now, not 10,000. Beast Pirates have 15,000. That's my bad. But if you are wondering why I say 15,000, it's because in, I think 984 it was, they mentioned this, that there are about 500 of us. One of the gifters mentioned this. So there are about 500 Smile users. We know that the way it works is that, 1 in every 10 people gets the power. So that means that they must be about 4,500 pleasures. 4,500 plus 500 gives us around 5,000. Now, the amount of men above the level of gifters is simply like numbers, which are about 10. I mean, we don't know for sure, but it's about 10. Seems like a good enough guess. Plus Apu makes 11, Tobiropo makes 17. The All-Stars make 20, and Kaido is 21. Sorry, I had to think if there's any significance to that with card games. Blackjack, maybe. Anyway, no theories there. So, 21 plus 5,000 is about 5,000. So, 20,000 minus 5,000, that's about 15,000. And the only other people it could be is waiters. Clear and simple. So, I'll just say, I will try to respect the waiters and the pleasures as much as possible. And say that the two of them are roughly 19,500 or 20,000 if you want. And their skill runs deep, so they can take on 100,000 Marines. Easy claps. I don't know, but let's just assume. And beyond that, what do the Marines have, Because when I say elite soldiers, what I'm thinking about is captain rank going down. So captains, petty officers, chief petty officers, ensigns, all the way down. So above that, we have commodores, rear admirals, vice admirals, admirals, and I already talked about the fleet admiral. So how can we make this, how can we see? Because my thought is that it has to be close somewhat. So how can we make this work? How can we make it make sense? I think that what I'm going to use is that I'm going to say that the Commodores will be my low tier foot soldiers. No, high tier foot soldiers. And then the rear admirals would be my low tier executives. If you don't know what I mean, again, you can watch my other video, my last video talking about the Mihawk pirates or the warlords as a Yonko crew. And in that video, I explained that I brought up the whole table and I explained that the crews in One Piece, be it the revolutionaries, the navy, the Yonko crews, and possibly even the warlords, are designed in the same structure. I'm not saying that all the people are the same or the people have the same power, but the structure is the same, essentially. That's my point. And I used this image with the Beast Pirates to show it, And so now I want to use, make my own one for the Navy to see how that would work. So for that, I'm going to say that the Navy Commodores are my high tier foot soldiers. That's what I'll say. And then the Rear Admirals are my lower tier executives. The Vice Admirals are my higher tier executives. And then the Admirals will be my commanders. Fleet Admiral is my leader. And let's see if we can get that to work. I think that works fine. Does that work fine? I think it does. Let's see. So if we say high tier foot soldiers or commodores versus people who are gifters, yeah, that works because we don't have that many commodores. I mean, of course, there's just people we haven't met yet, but we don't have that many people high up there. So I would think that the commodores are, gifter level, maybe. No, what? Yeah. So I would think that the gifters are high tier foot soldier level. So gifters and commodores, yeah, those guys seem like they would give each other a run for their money. Of course, like I feel like people like someone like Kobe could be Commodore. Just comparing Kobe to like literally every captain we saw pre-time skip, I think Kobe right now beats Smoker when he was a captain. Kobe right now beats literally every captain we've seen. T-Bone, of course, people like the mouse guy, I forgot his name, Axan Morgan. I think Kobe beats all of them, no doubt. Like just how good he is, how strong he is. I think Kobe's above them. So I'd put Kobe on that Commodore level at least. But yeah, no, actually the Commodore level seems right for him. But I think that the other captains, yeah, they can deal with waiters and pleasures. So the gifters would deal with the Commodores plus Kobe. And then let's see. The Rear Admirals will deal with the headliners. That makes sense to me. Yeah. I mean, right now we've got like some pretty strong people who are headliners. We saw on Zoe when they arrived fighting Sheepshead. Sheepshead was no pushover. And he's messing around now. He's not being a pushover after the time skip with some Straw Hats. So I gotta give headliners. I mean, they haven't been impressive in Wano, but they're strong still. So I gotta give them that. I think that Rear Admirals, it could be a good fight with the headliners. Also considering that Drake was the Rear Admiral and he left. So Drake, I don't know, it made sense in my head thinking about Drake was the headliner, was the Rear Admiral and left, which is somewhat equal to headliners because Basil Hawkins is a headliner. But I say that now and it doesn't make sense, but in my head it somehow made sense and I can see it happening. So we'll just assume it makes sense. Roll with me on this one. Okay, so what's next? We have the Commodores, we have the Rear Admirals somewhat equal to the headliners. And then after Rear Admirals, we have the Vice Admirals, who I put up against the Toby Ropo. Now, the only issue with this is that there are only 6 Toby Ropo. And we have more than that many Vice Admirals. For that, I would say that, of course, I'm going to make the numbers fight the giant squad. It's a given. But that aside, actually, I think that it's possible that the numbers may defeat the giants. Because the giants that we saw pre-time skip were pretty appalling in strength. The giants are the only people that Luffy could one-shot, apart from the fodder. Literally. So giants were pretty appalling. I'm gonna say the numbers can probably beat the giant squad. Anyway, apart from that, the Vice Admirals, once again, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with that, but I think that with the number of gifters being 500, that's way more. Gifters and headliners, I think, from what we've seen, seem to be way more than the number of Rear Admirals and Commodores. So I think I'll use that to balance out the numbers. Which doesn't really make sense, but it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. So, like I said, all we have now are the Vice Admirals and the All-Star, not Vice Admirals, the actual Admirals and the All-Stars. And how that's gonna go is, I will say that they are not equal fully. And I think that the edge would probably go to the Admirals. And that the extra, if you will, the extra strength that the Admirals have will make up for the fact that I don't think that someone like Akainu can beat Kaido. And so, using that logic, it works out. Okay. So, I think there are many holes in what I'm saying. The numbers of people, the actual proper strength, where we think they lie. People who are outside this and who we won't really know how strong they are now, like Sengoku and Garp, and how exactly that is. People on Kaido's crew, if we're counting Yamato, if we're not counting Yamato, how strong is Yamato anyway? The numbers, how strong are they really? Apu, what does that make? Hawkins, is he really headliner, or is he, up there with the Tobiropo? He could be Calamity level, but we don't know. There's a lot of in-betweens. But, guys, I think this overall makes sense. I will say that I don't think anyone has an easy win. If they did fight, I think that it would be an extremely difficult fight either way. Whether the Navy wins in the end, or whether the pirates win in the end. But then again, I think people in the world government know that, the Gorosei know that, Im know that, and I think that's the whole point of the warlords. Because the warlords themselves add so much more power, almost equal to that of a Yonko crew. Of course, it would never be that strong because they never work together, but it's a big difference. It's a big, jump in power, which helps make this battle a bit more decisive when it actually comes down to it. Because think about, even if you say Doflamingo, adding Doflamingo to the mix that I've just explained will really sway it. Whether Doflamingo decides to work with Kaido will sway the battle, or whether Doflamingo decides to be a warlord and works with the Navy would sway the battle. So clearly the warlord system made sense on many levels, this being one of them. But guys, anyway, those are my thoughts. This video has been really long, longer than my usual ones. But anyway, guys, please do tell me what you think. Please like the video if you did like the video. I will not encourage you to dislike the video. And if you know someone who needs to hear the truth, share this video with them. If you have time, watch one more video. If not, thanks for watching this one to the end. This is King KZ, and I'll see you in the next one.